Hey, everybody, and welcome back again to another episode of the Wish You Were Beer Show. This is a live beer review show that we do every Thursday here on YouTube. We do it on Facebook and through Twitter as well. You can watch it live through any one of those platforms. We do it every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We try a new beer. We talk about a new brewery. Sometimes we have some themed episodes depending on what holidays are going around any given time of year. So, you know, every Thursday when you're at home drinking by yourself anyway, you should come join us. True story. Make sure you go down to the About section, please, and check, obviously, the like button as well as the subscribe button, not one or the other. Please do both of them. They're next to each other. It doesn't take very long.
Quick boom, boom, click.
Boom, boom, click. It's our newest album. Boom, boom, click. Saliva's still trying to sue us, but I don't care. Really. So that being said, though, if you like and subscribe, down in that same section, there's also always a description about what beer we're doing on the show, some of the notes about it. You can find all of our subscription-based services that we use down there as well. So specifically the beer tonight came from Beer Drop. So there's a link down at Beer Drop as for Beer Drop down at the bottom that gives you a discount as well as us if you try their services. We get quite a few beers from them. We've had multiple ones on the show. We still get beers from them even when we're not going to have them on the show just because it's easy. It's easy. It's across the country. Most of the beers come out of Colorado. So a lot of fun. So make sure you check all those out. You can also check out our website. Our website's got a lot of our past show information. It's got our calendar for our upcoming shows. We've got a lot of great blog posts and stuff about the beers, the style of beers, some of the breweries, some of the histories on things. So make sure you check all that out. What?
Nothing.
Just say it.
Well, I was going to say.
I can feel her eyes like burning, like dude.
I was seeing. I was wondering what she was thinking.
I could feel it.
I can't not make a face at any point in time. No. So one, Beer Drop just sent an email. I think I forwarded it, that they're expanding to include a bunch of other breweries as well.
Yeah, so they're not going to be as heavily Colorado based.
So that's exciting. And then two, I lost my train of thought.
I love it.
And I was going to, what were you just talking about?
You were staring so many daggers at me. You got lost in your own.
One of the blogs is like what glass you should be drinking every different type of beer out of, which is kind of cool. Because I know that for me, I'm always wondering what I should be drinking. Like what
style of glass you should be drinking out of.
Oh, look at Phil pulling up Beer Drop.
Yeah.
You guys recognize this brewery?
Hold on. We don't have our screen as large. Let's see it. They have a Drecker beer in there?
Yeah, they just added it, that's why I brought it up, because Tiffany mentioned they're adding new ones. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. And of course, for those of you who don't know, we had Drecker on the show. They're out of North Dakota. So that's interesting, though, that they're going to be adding some...
It's like big breweries.
Yeah, some big breweries from all over.
Great.
Yeah. So very exciting. So if you haven't tried Beer Drop, now is a great time to try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. But as always, like we were saying earlier, make sure you share if you have any friends that are beer folks or
just friends in general.
If you have any friends, please, because we're out of friends.
I need some friends.
I don't have any, so good luck.
We beat all our friends over the head with this already. So,
and I just see you two every week, and that's all I got. So.
That's all you got.
I can't invite you to it.
I can think of worse things.
I have colleagues. That's basically where my friends are at this point.
That makes sense.
That's all I talk about.
Also, I forgot to mention, if you're logged into your YouTube or through Facebook, you can actually comment along with us.
Yep.
So feel free to write some comments on the actual comment section. We'll pull them in live as we see them.
There's a slight delay.
Yeah, there's a slight delay, but you can play trivia with us later. You can tell us what beers you're having.
Ask questions.
Tell us that Tiffany and I are matching. We know.
Right. I had this shirt on well before he had it. Just for the record.
True story. So that being said, as always, though, I'm Daniel. This is Tiffany, and Phil is still in St. Martin.
I sure am. Getting tanner by the day.
I was going to say, when we first got on here, I was like, oh, Phil's getting a little darker.
Yeah. Yep. I got made fun of the first day I was here because they were like, man, you need some sun. And so I showed them. I was like,
3 sunburns later.
Yeah, I won't work. I'll just go to the beach every day. Prove you all wrong.
You really showed them.
So how are things going? Did you have more to say? Are we still doing that?
I was just going to ask you how many weeks you've been down there now. What show is this versus the weeks?
I'm almost at my halfway point, so I'll be halfway through my 3 months next show.
Okay.
So I think it's six weeks or whatever I've been here down. I can't do math.
This makes sense.
Yeah. So
trust me, Katie, I get it.
Wow. Also, happy Women's History Month.
We did a post for it. That's enough.
I know. Wait, did you?
No, you didn't do Women's History. You did International Women's Day.
Correct.
Oh,
did you grab a root?
Day.
Is that a root boy?
No.
So, I saw you go to the beer fridge. What is it?
I know. So I didn't grab a rude boy, but I did. So every episode while I'm in St. Martin, I'm trying to bring you a drink that I find here. Some kind of running out of like the beers. There's still a few more I've got for future episodes, but as you know, I've introduced you to the Rude Boy, which
I can't stop thinking about it.
All 3 flavors: the mango, the extreme, and the regular. I found this one tonight because I was like, I went to the store right before the show, and I was like, I gotta find something. And then I just see this Magnum tonic wine.
Oh
God!
Magnum tonic wine.
Holy
shit! It says it's manufactured in Jamaica, but it has iron and vitamins in it. So
So it's healthy.
No,
it's healthy for you.
It's a Four Loko with like a Red Bull and some vitamin water.
So this has 16.5% alcohol in it.
Oh, you got some mashed liquor, basically. Yeah, I dig it.
So I'm going to crack this open and try the tonic wine while we continue on with the show. You tell me about how your week's been.
Our week's been great, and I agree with Andrew here. We need to make Rude Boy the first official sponsor of the show.
Oh, it looks like cough syrup.
Oh, God. So
I'm all for that, and I bet you Rude Boy would be too.
What the hell else they got going on?
Yeah. I saw a billboard for it the other day.
They do. Okay, they got some advertising money. That's good.
And they got vans that drive around too.
Well, those are different, I think. I don't think that's advertising.
Oh, it smells like cough syrup.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, good luck out there, Phil.
Yeah.
Who is drinking this?
Maybe just take a sip of it and don't wreck your damn palate before we have this beer.
That is cough syrup. I'm pretty positive that's just cough syrup.
It's purple drink.
Oh, purple drink.
So our week's been okay. I mean, just normal stuff around here. Nothing. I don't think anything too crazy.
Yeah. Forgot to eat today until like 10:30. So
every day with
spoonful of peanut butter. So that's.
Well,
thank God we're drinking a 4.6.
I was gonna say, thank God we don't have one of those strong ones.
I ate around 2:30 again, and then I just ate dinner. So I've had 3 meals,
quote unquote.
I mean, peanut butter is really a meal. How are you doing?
Any better? I'd be you.
Well, I mean, you've been sniffly because we got a fake spring.
That's my wish you were beer. So, man, you guys love to wreck my shit, man.
I mean, you just gave me a heads up of I
gotta tell you what I'm doing every week now.
Sorry. My bad, guys. Allergy season hit, and I did not know.
Well, what? Besides all that, what are we drinking tonight?
We are drinking
the Devil's Dunkel, which is a Dunkel style lager from Berthoud Brewing Company, which again is out of Colorado. We got this beer in a beer drop. We promoted it last week, which I think we're going to start doing every week. We promoted it and we sent out just a little reminder of the promo of it earlier today. So if you don't already have the beer, chances are you're not going to be able to get it because it was a beer drop beer. But again, just tell us what you're having, what you're drinking. And in the meantime, Phil, I think you can roll some beautiful footage.
Well, what's going to happen when we get back?
We're going to bring them in. We got people.
You didn't tell me that. So we actually have the vice president of Berthoud Brewing, Jesse Sommers. So he's going to be joining us here shortly when we come back from the video. And he is bringing
someone else.
Else. He told me.
We see someone else. That's great. It's going to be a surprise. Here we go.
All right, so let's welcome in Jesse Sommers, who's the vice president again of Berthoud Brewing out of Loveland, Colorado, and who?
Also in Berthoud.
Oh yeah, and Berthoud. You have two of them. Yeah.
I'm Linked Hawthorne, head of sales.
Head of
Director,
sales.
head of sales. We're something based loosely around sales.
Head of sales. So you basically just brought
I
somebody
just go
who
let
can
people
talk so
try
you
beer
can hang
and
out.
I don't know. It's nice to call myself
Right.
head or director of whatever, but
I like it.
for itself.
Titles are a beautiful thing, right?
Oh, you better believe it.
My favorite is Brewmaster. Remember, we love talking about Brewmaster.
Master of sales.
Now,
I've
there
been
you
working
go.
on
That's
that.
exactly what you should be.
Yeah.
I've been working on Oprah, the brewery, because I do a lot around Christmas time. Kind of hoping that would take off, but it hasn't yet. So we're working on
Not
that.
yet. Not yet.
The Oprah of the brewery. I'd be for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I love it.
It'd be a good title.
Yeah. You get a beer. You get a beer. You get a beer.
Yeah. My head brewer, our head brewer is a young lady named Samantha Gebhardt. I believe she's 26. I'm sorry, I should say she's in her early to mid 20s. You should never give a lady's age.
That's a
away.
HIPAA violation. We'll cut all this out.
Happy International Women's
Yeah,
Month.
right. Whatever it is.
Well done.
But she was like, you know what? I need a title. And I was like, all right, how about Federal Executive Director of International Berthoud Brewing Operations? Call her Fedibo.
There we go.
Perfect.
She loves it.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I just want you to send me one of her cards with that like monocard on the bottom. I'm like, that's legit.
I want to get a custom shirt made. It takes up the whole back piece.
It's a whole paragraph.
It's like 3 lines.
So now, are you guys in the brewery right now?
We are. So we're in our main office. It's actually here in Loveland.
Okay.
So
That's good. I thought you were in a college dorm, so I apologize.
Yeah, this is my roommate actually.
Yeah, right.
The sales just.
Why do you lie about dumb shit, man?
Call me in
Yeah.
5 minutes ago. Say, hey, you're director of sales.
Yeah, I had to kick his girlfriend off the bunk bed back here to make sure we can talk.
There was a sock on the door when you got there. And she was like, oh,
Damn.
Son of a gun.
I love it. So, director of sales. I mean,
Sales master.
sales master, however you want to go by. So you're mainly overseeing folks, or are you actually out selling beer? Like, what's the story?
So we had a few reps that, quite honestly, we rebranded totally, and even one beer kind of changed a little bit of the profile
Okay.
and started kind of taking off. And I kind of just started with these guys part-time, and I grew into full-time pretty quickly because once they rebranded, the beer was always good inside the can. And I would only say, because the old cans, one of the bigger problems we always ran into was that we don't know what's inside the can because they all are black labels and hard to read. So as soon as we rebranded, we kind of just took off, and I got into 2 Costco's, and the Costco's are just absolutely pounding through it.
Yeah.
One of them recently got absorbed into the store. We were only in there for a month and a half, but they probably did 60 cases, and all 60 of those cases were gone within 2 months.
Very cool.
And then we're in one right now that might get absorbed here in the next 4 or 5 years. And we do a tasting there one time, and every week they're selling 10 cases of it just on their own, which they sell them as mixed packs. All that to say is that the beers sell themselves. It's just the whole getting them into a store is been, I guess, as director of sales, my main goal. And we're in every major store in Colorado except maybe one. And Davidson's, we're coming for you. Okay.
If you're watching Davidson's, get your shit together. Costco's already on board. I don't know what more you need.
Ordered from us 10 cases. We delivered
There
it.
goes our Davidson sponsorship.
We don't know what happened. All that to say is, so that alone has been really nice, where there's a lot of residual sales that come from that. And we have 2 or 3 beers to get a lot of retention that people, when you drop there the first time, new beers in a shelf, people go grab them. And we have 2 or 3 right now that people grab them once and then they keep coming back for it. And
Nice.
Even like Bevy's, which is in Parker. I just went there this week and they're like, there's 2 or 3 people that really love Little Thompson. And because of that, they keep coming in here and they're buying a case,
Yep.
Every week or every 3 or 4 days. And I was like, that's good. Thank you.
I would think that would be the hard part in the current market, because I feel like the beer market is pretty well saturated. There really is always something new that you can find.
Yeah,
it is saturated.
Find something and like it and go back to it.
Right, and it's kind of funny out here in Colorado because it's such a mix of like old Colorado, which is extremely it was a very conservative state for a long time, and a lot of farm and ranch. Yep. So you have your die-hard, big-time beer drinkers, which are your buds, your Coors, your Busch, your Bud, all that stuff. And then it's getting younger, more progressive, but we're fighting so much for that young group, whether it's RTDs, the seltzers of the world, and obviously the craft brewery scene out here is not bad if you've been around.
It's legit.
Quite good. Yeah.
Yeah. There's you have to know your stuff to compete out here. So it's fun though. It creates a great challenge for us. And I see on the comments down here, apparently I need more tapestries in this.
Yeah, that would make it a little bit more of
I've got a lot of band posters and stuff from back in the day.
If you had a Pulp Fiction poster behind you, it's 100% a college.
I should share. That's for Katie directly down here in the comments. But
I'll sit back there and dance the whole time.
Wow, that's a different podcast we do on Fridays. Maybe my dance in the background.
So I was reading that you guys you kind of say you're never going to do a crazy beer because you do want that beer drinker's beer, right? You're not going to do a peach schnapps strawberry ice cream sour ever. We've had something very similar to that.
Yeah. And I think it plays well to the diversity in our state, which I was just previously talking about. We have the people that come in I want a Bud Light. And so jokingly, we give them our lowrider light and we say, well, here's a Bud Light.
Nice.
And we've got the lowrider lime, which is, we hear it's my least favorite comment. People are like, oh, it's like a better Bud Light lime. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, shit.
I mean,
I know if we can cuss on this thing, but yes, no shit.
Go right ahead.
The goal was to slightly beat Bud Light Lime. Yeah.
When we sat down to brew a beer, we were like, what we should do? Let's put our life's work into a slightly better Bud Light.
Do you know how much you love Busch Light? If we can make it just one step better than that.
But, I mean, me and Jesse, we sat out here at the brewery for an hour and a half. 2 hours for Jesse, an hour for me.
Fair.
We were zesting limes. And those are one of those things to me that in my sales pitch from the last, however many months, I've been saying, hey, I hand zest these limes. I was lying the whole time.
Right now.
Except for this recently, you're actually sitting there. We had a guy named Scott. Scott has been gone for a little bit. He'll come back soon. He was the world champion hand zester of limes.
He's great. He's got a natural rhythm.
You sit there and zest limes with the guy, you get to know him pretty well. And me and Jesse were sitting there for
me and Phil went to college together. I know what you mean.
Yeah. We ride in trucks together all day, so we get it. But.
Yeah. So it's we do a lot of work towards some of these beers that come out on the other end where it's that tastes like lime. It's well, guess what? We
have real limes
and zested it. And because of that, you can actually taste it. So Corona already dressed, or anytime I'm ever selling to consumer is you want a beer that you don't have to sit there and do any work for. Basically, my whole goal was I grew up doing Corona for my father, and it's all right, I'm going to cut one little corner out for you. That lime will sit there and rot for the rest of eternity. I'll throw it away tomorrow, but you got your Corona with a lime in it. And it's like, well, this one you don't cut nothing.
Yeah.
Just drink it.
So you guys made a better Bud Light, a better Corona. Holy shit. Like,
That's cool, man. So,
Time to retire.
right,
Time to
and so
retire.
that's yeah. So he always says he coins the term domestic craft because we want to embrace the old school.
Sure.
Like we're old school guys. Me and my dad, we're from the Midwest. We grew up where a handshake is everything. It's a contract to us. And we want to pass it along to our drinkers. It's like I put my blood, sweat, and tears in our beers, and I know our brewers do too. Every day, our sales guys do. We had a hard day selling today. It's like, man, that sucks. Yeah. But we are out there working at it every day. And we pass along that like hard working guarantee to our drinkers, where it's like we want to make sure that we have that beer that's welcoming and approachable to everybody that steps in.
Yeah, I dig it, man.
Yes.
New sales pitch.
New sales pitch. Beer now with real limes helps with the scurvy.
Yeah, screw that scurvy. We're not doing that.
All right, well,
made for ships.
Speaking of the brewery and some of y'all's background and whatnot, why don't we get into some potential history or facts or trivia or whatever the hell you want to call it? Yeah.
So bad.
All right, so for those of you who may not be familiar with the show, this originally was history and facts. It's morphed into more of a trivia now, but we also love that sound clip, so it will also never die. Regardless of where this show goes, we will use it.
Although earlier in the show, we almost went to like boom, boom, pow, and I was totally thinking Black Eyed Peas.
Right.
But you went close with it there. So I was
like, we went live with boom, boom, click. So this is the part of the show where we're actually going to do a little bit of trivia, sometimes about the brewery, sometimes about the beer itself. Tiffany works out the trivia. Phil and I haven't actually seen the answers. Vero will get all of them right in the comment section, but if anyone else would also like to play ball, you can comment along. There is a slight delay, but if you wait till Vero answers, you can answer right after her and be like, oh, I put it in at the same time. Oh, we're both right. That's normally what I do.
Bet money on our answers.
What?
We're willing to bet money on our answers.
God, you know what? It's funny because we always send out the trivia to the guest, and I think it's more of a like, is this okay? But I also think we're kind of fact checking the internet. Like, is the internet lying about what you do at this brewery? You would know.
I see Vero is already apologizing for the intensity that we're about to display.
So
it gets pretty cutthroat.
Yeah, so Vero's also a part of the show. She does a lot of our back end work, so she does a lot of our blogs and some other things.
Long as worry about Vero, she's not going to be like interfering.
No, but she will know more about these answers than you somehow. I don't fucking get it, but all right, let's do it. Let's
fucking of the show. I appreciate it.
Trust me, there's plenty more of that came from. I'm only half a beer.
That's a Saturday night podcast.
Yeah. All right, let's get to question one.
All right. So this beer has two different hop varieties that we have not had on the show before. It's Mountain Hood and Magnum. What are the flavor profiles of these hop varieties? Sorry. I wrote this while
my tonic wine also has Magnum in it.
Anyway, what flavor profiles?
What a perfect plug for Magnum wine,
right?
What flavor profiles are they? Warm spice notes, floral, citrus, bitterness. Select all that apply.
So it's a Dunkel, so I'm gonna get rid of floral and citrus. I would tend to say A and D. Warm spice notes, a little bit of bitterness, but hopefully not way too crazy bitterness.
I'm going A.
Going A. So I assume I'm
going
correct.
with you. I'm going with you on this one as well, Daniel. I think I'm expecting this to be kind of warm spice notes with a little bitterness as well. I think it might not work with the floral and the citrus. So
yeah, but every now and
again,
we a curveball.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Vero says B and D, so we obviously suck at this.
Oh no!
I'm getting fired tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
And a bit of A, which is also
That's
a different
almost
night.
everything but C.
Right.
If this if that's like how you could do your ACTs, I would have got a 36, man.
So Mount Hood hops, they have a spice and floral note to them. In this beer, from what I read, is more of the spiced notes, but you can bring out the floral in the Mount Hood, depending on what you work with. It's it's got a wide range of styles you can use it in.
Right.
And then Magnum is usually a bittering, but depending on how you brew it, again, it can have really subtle citrus flavors. So it's technically all of the above.
Grandpa's cough syrup going on over there.
I know.
Yeah, it's
in the Bahamas. That's
it's
killing
the
me.
word of the night. Anytime you say Magnum, I'm going to show it.
Yeah.
At least
better
that's
be
the
getting paid
Magnum we're worried about right now. There's no like
Yeah.
extra. Yeah.
I wish I had one of those here.
So the thing about like hops is you can introduce so many different characteristics based on where you put it in the boil or in the dry hop.
Sure.
And like we have a beer 5030. It's one of our 6 beers we have in a can. It's our double IPA. It's a single hop Centennial. So all the way through the boil and to the dry hop is Centennial. So it releases like a little bit of like an apricot, grapefruit, citrus flavor. But then the later it gets introduced, you see more of the pine come through. And it gets released in just so many different ways. So it's kind of fun. Like you get all those different flavors from it.
And my doctor's
yeah,
prescribed it to me twice because it's basically NyQuil in a can.
Right. Yeah. I love it.
9%
Yeah.
beer. So like,
love
you got a cough. You need
it's
to go
not
to bed.
quite a Magnum, but you
No.
know.
Not a Magnum.
No.
Yeah. It'll put your bed. I'll tell you that
Magnums
much.
do not make families.
All right. Here's my question. Going forward, I haven't seen trivia.
Sorry, we're gonna clean this show up. We got to reset, guys. We're going.
Oh, no, not at all. You're
No, it's going to only get worse.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
There's the Magnum you're drinking.
Don't stop saying it. That's what I was going to ask. Do we have to mention this word throughout the rest of trivia? I'm not sure. Phil's on. This is the most he's worked
Can I
out.
just, like,
I know,
can we
I
just
haven't-
take like 20 seconds to get the quick tasting notes from Phil on this Magnum wine situation? I've been so
Sure.
curious since he busted this cough syrup
Okay.
open.
When he poured it, it was like red and looked just like.
It looked a little. It had some syrupy qualities.
It literally tastes like cough syrup. Like that is the
Are
full
we
on
talking
flavor
like
notes.
NyQuil, or is it more like the
No, it's
cherry, like Robitussin?
It's
like
flavor?
Yeah, the Robitussin cherry.
I
It's
love
definitely that.
Yeah, definitely.
I used to just
It's-
drink whole bottles of it. No, I mean,
It's
no.
so
Sorry, I
gross.
know
It's
I'm
no rude
supposed to,
boy.
like, I know I'm supposed to plug our beer and talk about all that, but I'm just so curious about this Magnum situation.
But if you could send Jesse a fucking rude boy and a
If
Magnum,
you
that would be
that'd
great.
be great, Phil. It'd mean a lot to me.
I will. These are pretty small, so I'll bring a bunch back.
Tell you what, I'll trade you a 6-pack of 50-30 for one of those grandpa
Just
cough
one
syrup.
Magnum. Deal.
I'm
That's
okay
a deal
with
I'll
this.
take all day. Yeah.
All right, let's roll question 2.
All right. True or
50-50.
false? The beer's name actually stems from a rocky ridge called the Devil's Backbone near the brewery.
False.
Okay, tell me
The
why.
Devil's Backbone is not in Colorado. It is in Virginia,
Okay.
which is why there is a brewery named after that.
Okay.
We went to
True.
that brewery, didn't we?
Yes,
Uh-oh.
Phil, we did.
Okay, I think I remember being there.
Yeah, we try not to plug them that much because they are massive. But the Devil's Backbone is a ridge in the Blue Ridge Mountains that Thomas Jefferson named. Was it Jefferson? I don't know. I'm going to say false.
I'm going to go with true here because I think Daniel needs to get out of Virginia more and realize that there's more than one Devil's Backbone.
Oh, not where I come from.
America.
Well, the good news about the devil
I knew
is
you
he's not trademarked.
No,
You tell that to my religious mother.
it is true. It's true on
That
our
answer.
end.
But yeah, the Devil's Backbone. Sorry, there we go.
There we
So
go.
that is right behind our brewery in West Loveland.
Nice.
And the hole through there you see is called the Keyhole. And that's like a big hiking point.
No, you can't say keyhole on this show. It's not appropriate.
Yeah.
You dirty dog.
Oh.
Well, I'm from Texas,
You never
and there's
step.
also a devil's backbone in Texas between New Braunfels and Whitney, Texas.
Let's just go through
There's
a
a
quick
devil's
history.
backbone
Though.
probably everywhere.
If we had to imagine, let's
Except
say where
Kansas.
the United
Nothing in
States
Kansas.
started.
No devil in Kansas.
He went down there though.
He went down there, right?
He visited briefly.
Just
But Kansas and Georgia are very like sister states.
very close
He visited,
together.
but he didn't
One's
like
east,
it, so he
one's
left.
west.
they're the kissing cousins of states, I think.
They're the kissing
Right.
cousins of West Virginia.
The kissing cousins. I love that. I would use that from here on out. The rest of my life.
Well, I guess you didn't have any close cousins growing up. I've been using that for a long time.
Yeah.
No, we're kissing cousins, man. That's normal.
Yeah.
Everybody does that.
Once again, Daniel's from Virginia. So
Yeah.
I am not. I am a transplant. So it's fine.
Wait, where are you from then, Tiffany?
I'm from California.
Oh, so you weren't even relevant to the union.
My family, like, I'm a fifth generation.
The devil had nothing to do with California. He was already there long before he got there.
Trust me, that's where he was born. The devil was born in California.
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's what I've been hearing around Colorado lately.
I heard a rumor recently. Said he was coming via trucker convoy. All right.
let's get this show back on track.
Oh, wait a second. Was that question 2?
Yes.
Phil, are
That
we not
was.
get on track right now?
No, it's
Yeah.
way. I don't know where the track is anymore.
So we have 4
Get
trivia
off of
questions,
me. You don't know where it is.
which means I finally get to open this damn beer and try it.
I didn't finish my
So
other
this
beer.
is the part of the show where, as we continue to go through trivia, we're going to crack the beer open so that we can have more than just a sip or two of it
I'm a cool slant glass.
before we talk about it.
Cool slant glass. My God, you are from California. Yeah, slanted
keeping-
glass and everything.
I'm
It used
keeping
to be
my
a
trend
regular
of drinking out of a wine glass because that's what I have in this.
That's bigger than the last time. Phil, did you get a new wine glass?
No,
Clean
this
out
is a
that
white
Magnum
wine.
glass, man. Come on.
The Magnum glass.
All right, let's do that next trivia question.
Let's
So
try it.
I'll give you the sales pitch I got here in a second, and then Jesse will give you the science behind it.
Oh, God, I'm the worst person for that.
All right. So the Dunkel is a German brew best known for what flavor profile? Is this a choose all that?
No.
No, so this is a single one.
Yeah.
Dark roasted nutty flavors, dark chocolate bread and caramel flavors, dark bitter yet smooth, light beer flavors. D, fill in the blank now that you've had a sip of the beer. I'm obviously going D, and you can't tell me I'm wrong because it's based off of my.
But you need to fill in the blank. What is it?
It's.
I don't
it's
see a
definitely
blank
dark.
there though. I just see parentheses.
Definitely
There's no
roasty.
blank. Yeah, I'm going roasty. I don't know if I'm getting chocolate yet.
Well, I mean, like historically, like Dunkels are usually like discussed within the realm of chocolate and caramel. Typically a little bit bitter, but not hoppy.
So it's kind of a hard point with dark beers where once they see that like brown to black color of a beer, everyone immediately associates chocolate, right?
Oh, absolutely. But
Because it's like we're preconditioned to Hershey's. We know that color.
I don't
Yep.
get a lot of chocolate out of this one. I'm going to keep drinking it. Obviously, that was just the first sip.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it's C. It's more of a dark, little bit bitter, but it's a smooth, still a light beer, typically low ABVs. So,
Yeah,
Katie, I
I'm
think
gonna
you're
go
very
I'm going with C as well because it's.
I'm doing B. Damn it! I'm sorry.
What? You can't guess. You know the damn answers. You sell the beer.
I don't know the answers. I
He
sell
doesn't
it.
know the answers to the
No one
trivia.
tells
yet.
me anything here. I just go and sell it.
I love it.
I think I know Germans have their extremely specific way of doing things.
They do.
Um,
They're very
As
put
Stone
together.
can tell you. Stone Brewing can tell you
But-
probably.
so yeah, but one thing that's interesting is that also you look at Mexican style lagers were founded by German brewers. So is it really that traditional?
Sure.
The moment they leave the boundaries of Germany, it seems to be up for grabs.
That
I
is
always
actually true. There's like laws in Germany that like
Yes,
once you're out of Germany, you can brew whatever, but in Germany, it has to be brewed a very specific way.
specific per region, right?
Yeah.
So I always like to think of this as like the the light side of dark beer.
Yep.
So it carries a lot of the flavors of the stouts and the porters, but with the body of basically what you compare to a Vienna lager. Ours is 4.6%, so you're getting a very sessionable, clean lager finish, but you're also still getting that like slight roasty, mild chocolate flavor from this one. It's not heavy on the chocolate malt, but the slight roast is there for sure. And I do get a little bit of the chocolate finish on it, but not heavy.
Yeah, I think I'll probably get a little. Usually, chocolate for me, like in some of these style beers, is usually later for me. I don't typically get a whole lot unless it's just really heavily. Like obviously, we put a shit ton of whatever chocolate they wanted in there. But
and that's what's kind of funny too is like when you get into craft beers, craft beer is such a tough name.
Yeah,
because you have a chocolate malt, so you can introduce a beer to somebody as, well, this is a chocolate malt beer. Like, well, it doesn't taste like chocolate. It's like, well, yeah, it's not chocolate milk.
That's the problem.
Not yet. Right. I'm sure we'll get there one of these days. Yeah. We got to get with the trends.
And I've been to a brewery, Boiler Brewing Company, actually in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
Awesome little hole in the wall if you ever find it. It's like in the boiler room of this old like Union Station building or a City Hall building or something like that for Lincoln. They had a beer called You Put Peanut Butter in My Chocolate. And I drank it. I'm like, dude, that's Hershey's syrup. And they're like, yeah. Got Hershey syrup. I was like, okay, that's extremely chocolate. So you have like such a variable of, do you pursue that more like traditional style, or do you chase kind of what they did in that, where it's like, we want to make sure you're hitting the face with chocolate.
Right. And I think a lot of that boils down to like what you talked about earlier. Like your goal for you guys is to make a beer that's approachable for opposite ends of the spectrum of some of these guys that are classic beer drinkers and some of these people looking for something new and different. Because like,
I love my experience at Boiler Brewing Company. I thought it was fantastic. And but they were, on the opposite end of the spectrum than we were. We're going for that more traditional, clean style, and they're doing like some more funkier things that were like really pretty cool. So,
and I think there's a fun market for both of them, which is kind of cool now, because I think a lot of people that have been drinking beer for a long time are always going to rely on those classic styles like that, but also always seek out something wild and crazy while they're somewhere. Like, give me the chocolate syrup, Hershey's, whatever.
And we try to do that here as best we can. We have like a Russian Imperial chocolate or a Russian Imperial stout that was barrel aged for 9 months.
Nice.
Which I'm about to change the name to like a Ukrainian barrel aged stout for the last 9 months, right?
I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
Right. It's about time to change something.
Yep.
But then we've got like a triple IPA / barley wine called the Stitch Giver that's like 16.7%.
Nice. My language.
That's like the Magnum Phil was drinking.
Stop saying Magnum.
Plug it, Magnum.
We should have made it so I had to drink it every time that we said.
Oh God!
So I mean, we do anything like very traditional style beers, like this, to sours and barrel aged stuff. So
sure.
But what we're focusing on in the can is mostly on the traditional side and the more sessionable side, outside of our double IPA, which is 8.8%. But it's Colorado, so you got to throw double IPA in the ring, right?
You have to. And I think Phil even hit the nail on the head last week at the end of our show last week when we were talking about what beer we were doing in the upcoming week. It was in the promo clip that we used for the show. He was like, I love this can. It's very 80s is what he described it as, which is probably not necessarily what everybody was going for, but at the same time, it speaks volumes to we're going for a little bit more of like a classic beer, a classic, like,
No, I mean, honestly, like Phil nailed it. I wasn't thinking 80s, but we're definitely more like
80s
that.
were a good time.
Yeah, that was. I mean, Motley Crue. Come on, man. Like,
let's go. Yeah,
I spent a solid 5 years in them, but I don't remember much.
But to me, the can was just it looks like an old beer. It doesn't look like a new age beer, and I was excited about that.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what our rebrand was about. It's like, who are we? And it came down to like it's real. It's Americana. It's everything that's like I said, it's the Midwest. Like it's the handshakes, the contract. That's who we are. So.
And that's like, yeah, my sales pitch for. So at the end of the day, it comes down to consumer, right? Which is awesome because you get to go do tastings and hand sales. And you're sitting there with people that are going to end up buying it, which then creates, the buyer hopefully to buy more of it. And that's like, that is the essence of selling beer. It's as pure as it gets. Yeah. And it's one of those that like all these beers is like, we're going against the grain a little bit. We get lazy. We'll do hazy. Like as crazy as that sounds.
No, understood. Yeah.
It'll come and it'll go, ebb and flow, all these different things. And it's like, do y'all have a hazy? No, I don't got a hazy, but I got a damn good IPA. Right. You want to try it? And next thing you know, like this customer's number is 3838 or something. The one person that came to that tasting that day has been in there, 45 times since the time I did that tasting in October to buy that exact same IPA.
Nice.
And all that to say is like, I understand that like in Colorado, you're a little bit like almost, I don't want to use the word like you're spoiled a little bit because there's so many beers that are coming out. WeldWorks is coming out every week with a new triple chocolate margarita, double panda bear marshmallow stout. And it's like, so as a really customer, it's like, I like WeldWorks. I'm going to try this. That beer doesn't have retention.
Right.
So what we've seen, luckily, is that they'll come in and grab that triple chocolate margarita, pumpkin spice triple stout.
It was panda.
The panda stout.
The panda stout. My bad. And then they'll grab one of our beers, which is like, I want the, 4 16 ounces I can try.
Yeah.
Right.
Worst case scenario, I throw one of them away. Which all the way up until June, I was that guy until I started working for these guys. And till June, I was going to try things, and I literally would throw beers away. As bad as that sounds, I would say, "Hey, you want to try this?"
That's beer abuse.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I hate this. I'm not knocking on WeldWorks. Not knocking on any of these guys because we're all trying new things. It's awesome.
Yeah, we all have our different niches.
God, it's like I want a traditional beer that I can drink 6 of. That's at the end of the day, I can drink 6 of those today, and I can drink 6 of those in 3 days.
Then I can drink 6 again tomorrow. And
exactly. And
what day is it?
It's fun to make some of the crazy ones. I saw one called
"There's nothing wrong with being
Gamer Nuggets" or something. I bought it.
My taste is like
shit was terrible.
There's nothing wrong.
I'm sorry, nothing against those guys, but
well, good. We have them on next week. But
great, thanks. That promo's going to take.
You're welcome for the plug.
But there's nothing wrong with being the retirement plan. It's like every month you make that withdrawal at the same spot, and you do the same thing. It's like we want to be that beer that you drink consistently versus the one that you try and you're like, that was cool.
Yep.
I'm probably drinking more of it, but it's cool.
Yeah.
So because of that, do you sell this one in a 6-pack or do you guys do 12s? Like
we do 6-packs right now. We're working on a mixed 12-pack, hopefully for the summer release.
Well, my sales pitch for that one, in case you're wondering, I'm in it.
I literally almost cut everyone off just to ask that.
Thank you. It's basically in consumers. We have the lowrider lime, which is I don't know if y'all tried it. If you can go and get it. Try it out. It's hand zested limes, Celtic sea salt.
It's available on Beer Drop.
Literally, so how I started with this company was getting onto golf courses where no one ever drank it. It was like, we'll think about it. It was like, bring that every case you got, bring it now, because it's a hand. It's a Corona dressed, right?
Right.
Which is what I was drinking a second ago, and so what I tell people is like, well, the lime is lawn mowing beer. And the Dunkel is snowblowing beer. So people are like, well, we'll be snowblowing next week. So they get,
it's a good thing about Colorado.
6-packs of it, which is awesome. Which like, it's good snowblowing beer. Light. You can drink 15 of them. Not saying you should, but you could. And most of them are like, they're all over it. And it's sales obviously is a big part of what we do, but the beer, once they try it, it sells itself. So
it's just a matter of getting it in front of them half of the time. But yeah, which
Usually,
is
familiarity, they say, is 70% of why people repurchase.
correct. Why do you think I eat so much ramen?
Right.
Not because I'm an adult.
Ate a lot of that crap in college now, didn't you?
Nostalgic at this point.
That's nostalgia.
You guys got a hot plate back there, right? I assume.
Mom
Yeah.
sandwiches, and it gets really tough.
I'll figure this out.
All right, let's get to the last question.
One more question.
Oh, sorry. I went too long.
All right, true or false? How do you say it?
Berthoud.
Berthoud recently tapped
There
a
are two
sour
or
ale
Berthoud.
Right.
that was brewed with locally grown elderberries.
I want this to be true solely because of the elderberries reference, only because it makes me think of Monty Python every single time.
That makes sense.
Like, I could care less about the elderberry. Based off our previous conversations, they may have tried a sour, but it's obviously not their biggest push. But I just wanted it to be true for the elderberry. I respect the hell out of it. I care too much about it.
Yeah. I'm going true here as well, because I think, once again, this is a weird question to bring up with.
Oh no, this is exactly something Tiffany would make up.
So for me, I'm like, it seems kind of weird to say this, so I feel like this is true.
Vero says false. It was with blueberries.
Oh, it's a wording thing. I always forget about that aspect of this.
I know.
I don't have a beer.
Tricky question there.
Do you guys even know what a fucking elderberry is?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
It is a European.
Yeah, mulberries, elderberries,
You
what
can
you
grow
call berries.
They just learned about it in their botany class.
There's
Leave
only
them
one
alone.
berry I care about. It's a crunch berry.
So
All right,
anyway,
Captain.
we did a berry sour.
Okay.
What kind of berry you think there, Daniel?
I mean, apparently it was a
Are
blueberry.
you stuck on the
Blueberry.
blueberry idea?
I mean, that's Vero, so I'm
We're
going
doing a bluesberry sour.
with
So, so we used to do a lot of live music
Go.
pre-COVID. Behind me, sorry, wrong shoulder, mirror image. Back there somewhere. Let me get my head out of the way.
You weren't a weatherman. It's okay.
That one, whatever it is. You see that blonde-haired girl playing a guitar back there?
Yeah.
That's our friend Samantha Fish. She's a very well-known blues artist in the United States. So we have a lot of blues connections. We have a lot of blues friends. We used to do a lot of live blues music here. And a good friend of ours, Max Mackey, wonderful local musician, he was involved in like a horrible motorcycle accident last year. And so we did a bluesberry sour playing on the music note for him.
Go.
And tried to help raise some money for his recovery and all that stuff. And it was a big hit. So we kind of kept doing the blueberry sour. And this year we used wild blueberries. So we actually, for all our fruited beers, we use real things. We don't do purees. We don't do adjuncts or anything like that. So our cherry bomb in the summer that we do is made with like 3,000 pounds of cherries.
Nice.
Tart pie cherries, and our bluesberry sour is made with 600 pounds of wild blueberries. So,
God, that's like 1.5 fills.
yeah, I mean, blueberries. The cool thing about them is it's like filling up at the gas station right now. It's super
They're
freaking
really
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
Give them
sucks.
away.
And
What's
still,
next year's sour?
I don't think you're about 400 pounds. So I
Right.
think that's a crappy fat joke, Daniel.
I love it. So
No
we're
fat
doing
shaming in
this
this show,
year.
Daniel.
Next year, we're doing bald eagle heads and Fabergé eggs.
Phil might be working on drinking some Magnums and hanging out at the beach.
Bill's legs might be just totally yoked. Most ways more than that, you know? He might have calf muscles the size of like my torso. I don't know.
He does not.
I'd
That's
show you.
actually
I-
100% accurate.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I'd show
fit
you,
that
but I'm not wearing
That
any
beard
pants,
weighs at least
so.
5 pounds, though.
It's all that
Not
beach
big.
running he's been doing.
Mhm.
All right, so two things. One, we're going to review the beer here shortly, which means
Right
I'm
on.
going to cut you gentlemen out shortly. But I just wanted to thank both of you. It's always fun to have anyone on from the brewery.
Yep.
It's
Let alone two, right? I mean,
well, that's what I was going to say, and you brought like someone else involved in the brewery as well from a different aspect, which is it's a blast. It's happened a couple of times, like with some of the other breweries. I think the other one was out of Colorado as well when that happened. But always excited when somebody stops by and actually cares about their product. So before we let you guys run, is there anything you have coming up? Any new beers coming up? Anything you're excited about? Anything you want to push, plug?
So you guys do a lot of like charity stuff. I know you kind of talked a little bit about stuff. I don't know if that's like anything coming up with that.
Yeah, so we have a really cool program we're working with currently. It's through Canned Aid. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Canned Aid.
It doesn't ring a bell for me now.
So
No.
Canned Aid is like they were like a spur off of Oscar Blues Brewery.
Yep.
And they used to can water for like countries in need, that couldn't get fresh water and try to help people across the world with that. But we're working with, I forget how they say it, some sort of, it's a handicap accessible park.
Okay.
And it's a super cool program to where like we have swings that are going to be accessible by wheelchairs and
cool.
Yeah, super. So like some texture pads and stuff that kids get to like be around that have like sensory issues and things like that. So it's a pretty cool program. We're going to be working a lot with that going forward this year, like building park equipment ourselves, as well as like we'll have programs where anybody that goes to the park and builds those pieces of equipment will come back and have a free beer on us, and try to incentivize making it a real community theme of how can we make this thing happen for this family that started it, as well as the families that can benefit from it later on.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So that's
man.
my big push really this year. I mean, beers, we got a mixed 12-pack coming up. We'll have our Cherry Bomb coming up here in June. But the exciting part is, for me, is the park. I think that's going to be just a really cool thing.
I need y'all to come up here to the brewery and try our Son of Sam. We got to change the name potentially, but
we might be getting sued by the Son of Sam.
Orange ale /
our brewer's name is Sam. That's where it came
IPA
from.
type of beer that literally everywhere we've ever put it at, it's gone within like 3 days.
It's a killer.
It's I
don't know.
It's a killer.
Please tell me there's a parked car with 2 people in the front seat.
Guys, if you ever find your way up here, try that one. You'll be like, that needs to be in the can. I've been fighting for that for so long.
He won't stop talking.
I've got like corporate accounts going on. They're like, oh yeah, that's an option for us to get in cans. It's like, not yet.
Not yet.
They're
He's
like
working
bringing
on
in kegs. All that to say is one of those beers that, can define a company. Dunkel's great. Dunkel's light. You can drink a ton of them.
We have very
Coffee,
pushy
chocolate.
salespeople here. In case
I love that you're.
That's what they're supposed to do.
You're such a good salesman.
Yeah.
You're selling the
It's a
person
good beer.
responsible for selling it.
borderline obnoxious.
Just fire me tomorrow.
Yeah, it was great. We'll see you on the next brewery when you're working for the next one.
Who's next?
Hold on. Max Line, I'll go work with those guys. Hold on.
You're gonna be working for Magnum soon, I think.
I work for the
Magnum
company
cough
right
syrup.
now.
Well, listen, guys, again, we really appreciate it. If anybody's in the Colorado area, Berthoud Brewing, please go check them out. We're going to talk a little bit more about this beer. Phil's obviously going to trash it because he's already had better cough syrup. But
dirty dog.
that being
Come on,
said,
Phil.
honestly,
Be gentle.
thank you guys for stopping by so much. We really enjoyed it. I'll send you a shirt if you send me a hat. That's usually the sex
Oh,
trade.
No. We're sending you more.
Well,
What do you want?
let's not get out of hand.
We'll send
I just
you
want
here.
2 hand-zested limes, not even the beer, just 2
Just
hand-zested
that.
limes.
Margaritas.
Butt
Fresh
naked
baked
lines.
margaritas.
You want some butt naked lines? We'll send them to you.
Deal.
Yeah, you guys really appreciate it. Seriously, we'll be in contact again and
Cheers, guys.
enjoy the beer.
Vero says you guys were fun, so
Yeah.
it's
Thank you, guys.
official.
Oh, we're the best of them.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Cheers, bud.
Thanks, guys. Take it
Take
easy.
care.
You too.
It was fun.
Always fun.
I love having people
Always
on.
fun. I feel like it's been a while.
I feel like it has as well.
We've been ghosted by so many breweries lately.
Well, they saw our shows. So luckily Jesse didn't watch any of our shows. So he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll be on it.
And then now I've made a mistake.
You know what? I actually will say I think we've had I know we've had a lot of Colorado beers, but I feel like the Colorado brewers are always gung ho for this stuff.
Yeah, so far.
They jump on pretty easily, except for Ratio.
I was gonna say they're the only ones shitting down our neck as of late.
They've denied us twice, but we don't want to talk about them on the show where we're talking about this one. So
so this is the part of the show now where we are going to actually review the beer. This is the part of the show we're actually going to review the beer. We use Untapped to review the beers, which is a social drinking app that we are all on individually as well as the show. Come find us. But this week we are doing a beer from Berthoud Brewing Company. This is the Devil's Dunkel. And who wants to go first? That's my real question.
I'll go.
Okay, I like it.
Sure, take it.
So I fucking love lagers. I love Dunkels because they are dark, malty, kind of like I do get chocolate, like the dark chocolate flavor out of this. Slight hints of caramel. So it's got like a slight sweetness to it, but it still like tastes like a beer. I dig it. So out of the 5 bottle caps, I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Oh, nice.
Because
cool. Nice.
It's not quite going to give me an orgasm 5 out of 5.
Well, we're all trying to reach that bottle cap.
Yeah. It's been what? How many years?
So many years. It's been 84 years.
There you go. I got you one. Dang it.
But this is
Hold
what
on, let me just put my Magnum on it.
God damn it. Would you just let her talk about this damn beer?
No,
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm done. It's it's fine. Next.
All right, so I'll go next. I am also a big Dunkel fan in general. I like just about any dark lager because I think like Jesse mentioned earlier, like as soon as you see a dark beer, everyone automatically goes a certain direction. And so Dunkels are always fun, or some of like the other like Czech lagers, dark Czech lagers are always fun because they can be like a really dark beer that you expect to be really heavy or really high ABVs. And then all of a sudden you're drinking something really sessionable that you can have 5, 6, 7 of.
I'm not allowed to tell my doctor how many.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I tell my doctor I don't drink beer.
I'm like, maybe one a day. And I'm like, that's 7 a week.
Just
that's
like my apples. Bad. Like 1 apple, 1 beer a day.
Yep. Except for I don't eat the apple.
True story. So I'm actually right up there with Tiffany. I really dig this beer, especially at 4.6. It's, for me, it got a little chocolate at the end. I didn't get a lot of chocolate out of it, which is fine by me. I like a little bit more of the bitterness end of it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. Obviously,
that's why we're together.
Enjoy the bitterness. So I'm actually also gonna go 4.5. I really dig this beer.
All right, I'm just gonna put that score up because that is exactly where I am at.
Oh no shit!
I was actually a little bit lower, which is why I'm so happy we have now changed to drinking it earlier. Because I think if I had rated it right away, I probably would have been a 4, which is still a great score. I did not like it, but as I kept drinking it actually got better for me because I think your eyes kind of do screw with you. You see a darker beer and you are thinking it's going to be heavier. And I think when I first drank it, I was like, oh, it's a little heavier than I expected because I was reading it was like easy, crushable. And I was like, so when I first drank it, I was like, this isn't that crushable. But then as I got more into it, I was like, I could drink so many more of these. So I was like, it is completely a darker, crushable beer. And so as I kept going, I was like, this is just getting better. So my score just kept climbing as I kept drinking it. So I was at a 4.5 the whole time after that.
Nice. And Vero also has this beer. Lightly roasted, does not have a lingering bitterness. Also very light in spite of the look. Also a 4 for Vero, which is a great score because she can be a real jerk sometimes.
Oh, God.
Good Lord. You don't want that Argentinian to come after your brewery because I don't wish them my worst enemy. All right. So great show score. I mean, 4.5 is great.
Rare.
And a 4, pretty rare actually. But I also think the beer is fantastic. I'm not going to undercut the score we gave it. I also think this is just. I think if you drink beer and you like beer, this is such a comfortable style.
Mm-hmm.
This is such a good style for a beer because it's a beer.
Right.
Like it's not a Bud Light. It's not like a standard lager. It's a little bit heavier. It's darker. It's got some different flavor notes.
It's not quite as heavy as like
it's
a
gorgeous.
brown ale.
Yeah.
Which can also be light, but this one's got a little bit more.
And I just love the 12-ounce can.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish this was a 16 because then I wouldn't.
Kind of wish it was a 16.
I wouldn't be almost out of it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been babying it.
For me, I would want 6 of them. Like, this is a good 6-pack beer. Yeah. Like, I'd crack open another one if I had one. Like,
absolutely.
That sort of thing. But I think if it was in a 4-pack, we've had that discussion before where when you buy the 4-pack of the 16-ounce and the beer is kind of like, you're like, I feel like I spent a lot of money on this 4-pack. But when you buy a 6-pack of something like this and you drink it, you're like, great. You're not like it's upset for some reason. I don't know.
Right. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So great show score. I think for time purposes, let's get to what we wish was beer. Are you familiar with that?
I think so.
All right, so Tiffany's staring daggers at me for some reason, but this is the portion of the show, if you're unfamiliar with it, where we just take a quick minute to reflect on something either from the week, the month, our entire time spent in the womb, whatever we deem necessary, that we wish was beer versus what it actually is. So that being said, Tiffany already ruined mine, so I'll go first.
That's what I was staring at.
But before you go, Daniel, do you remember what your wish your beer was last week?
Yeah, it was about Duke basketball and Coach K leaving. Why?
Yeah, I forget. And what happened at the end of the game? Did it go well for you?
No, so Duke lost their last home game. Yes, that is correct.
Against UNC.
That's weird because I remember on the show you said something.
Regardless, they play Carolina this Saturday, and we should walk all over them, which should be nice.
I don't know, but I don't know much about college basketball, but didn't some like big team get cut out by like the 27th team?
This year's been a shit show. Everyone in the top 25 in the AP top 25 has lost dumb games or easy games.
You son of a bitch.
So what? I forget what number was UNC?
UNC was unranked at the time.
Oh, and Duke?
Duke was ranked number 7th in the AP top 25 at the time.
Cool. I just wanted to point out.
I'm so for.
All right, I'm going to change my wish you were beer on the spot. Honestly, I wish my one friend in life was beer so that I would enjoy his company. Not much anybody specifically, but I always enjoy having beer around. And as of late, I really dislike having my one friend around. His name is Phil. Right. I'm just going to say it. His name is Phil. Now, Budweiser's a friend of mine. I said friend of mine like 3 times. I was like, it's got to be coming soon. Yeah, you had to find it. It's deep in the archive.
I was too busy laughing.
No, but for real, honestly, we had crazy weather this week. It was 80 degrees over the weekend for a couple of days. And out of nowhere, every tree in the state decided it was April, May, almost June. Pollen and everything else went crazy. And I got my ass kicked by allergies for like 2 straight days. So I just wish allergies were beer so that when they show up unexpected, I'm happy about it. Like when we get a beer drop.
Thank God, because I thought you were on coke or something with how much sniffling you were doing.
No, trust me. I wish that were the case. It'd be way more fun.
All right.
Now
Tiffany's going?
Phil wants to go.
Now let Tiffany go because hers are long-winded, and you'll make yours quick.
No,
mine's just gonna be Magnum. So no.
Pap smears. Sorry for all you men out there who
you give her one international day.
But Women's History Month, International Women's Day. I wish Pap smears were beer because I never walk into the doctor's office being like, you know what I'm excited for? Woo! Pap smears. smears. No, but I'd be super excited if it was a fucking beer. End of Wish You Were Beer.
Thank you.
Also, we should make OBGYNs like spas. So in some spas, you get to like have a glass of wine or a beer.
Oh yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
be super stoked if that was like, hey, here,
That'd be
sorry.
cool. Yeah.
When we start a brewery, we can make a Pabst beer.
A Pabst beer.
A lot of dad jokes tonight.
Yeah, make sure you write that down though. That one's going places.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Jesse, they're still here. Let's pull them in. See what their wish their where beer is.
We haven't got the fills.
Wait, he just
You're
had
back.
Magnum.
What's up? We're back.
We've been watching the whole time. I love it.
I know. So
do you guys have something?
My thought on the Pabst smear didn't Gwyneth Paltrow have a beer that she made with like her vaginal yeast or something?
well, I think she made some candles.
And you're leaving the show. We'll see you later.
Phil, that was awesome.
Yeah. First off, screw you, Phil.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's that Magnum going to your head.
No doubt.
God damn.
I feel
all I
like
got
there's
left
a
to
beer
drink now.
made. Like, try not to be weird, but I do feel like there's a beer made with like vaginal yeast or something.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Like you said,
No,
beer is
yeah.
Wild Wild West right now.
I'm gonna,
I think it was a Gwyneth
Oliver
Paltrow
is
thing.
all over
if
that
you don't
beer.
mind me right now, in the look I'm giving right now, I'm gonna look it up on Google.
Hey, use
Dangerous.
someone else's account though. Trust me, I've got shit canned at a lot of jobs for googling some weird things.
The Order of Yoni, an artisanal beer created with the yeast of a woman's vagina.
Just a woman's. We have no idea who she is. She wasn't even given
Wasn't
credit.
Gwyneth Paltrow, but it sounds like something she would do.
Yep.
But it has happened, so that should be like the International Women's Beer Month,
I love it.
I guess.
Yeah,
if
see,
I'm-
Gwyneth Paltrow made a candle that smelled like
That's
her vagina.
right.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Thank you, Vero.
And I bought 3 of them, and they haven't had sex with me either. So stupid.
Son of a gun.
Damn, we didn't go to the brewery. Let's
That might be dangerous.
I'm out. See
All right.
All right.
Phil's
all right,
gonna
we'll
do his
see
wish
you,
you were
Tiffany.
beer.
See you guys.
Guys, great, man.
I thought you did. Wasn't it Magnum? Sorry.
Just Magnum? You're
No,
going just
no.
Magnum?
My actual wish you were beer this week. I'll make it quick. Still, it's French dinners because I'm in a French country. I had 2 French dinners back to back with people, and a French dinner lasts like 3 hours. So if it was beer, great. Like I can do that for 3 hours easily, but it was like it takes forever. And the weird thing here, and I'll just give you this little tidbit. The weird thing here is if you don't ask for your check, they never bring it to you.
Yeah.
So you just
They
sit
wanna
at the
keep you
table.
around, man.
No, because you don't order anything. They're like, are you done? And you're like, yes, we are done. And then they just walk away. And you're like, and then you sit there and you just wait. And then you're like, and then someone has to be like, hey, we should probably get our check. But no one wants to be that person. So you end up sitting at the table for an extra hour.
Not
Nope.
me, bro.
No, I'd be
So I
like,
had 2 of
I
those
got
this week.
shit to do, man.
I'd be the dickhead. I'd be like, Garcon. What? That's not a thing.
No, just kidding. I would never do that. I'd never
I
snap
mean,
at
luckily
a-
I can keep ordering beer during that process, but
True
I just
story.
wish it was beer instead because I'd be fine with it.
I'm okay with that.
Pharaoh says, I wish office gossip was beer. I'd be working at a damn brewery. Yeah.
Fair.
I'm sure there's a lot of office gossip at a brewery. Wow, that is hard to say.
That is.
I
That is
don't
a
know
tough
why
one.
that was hard.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I should have
Really struggled.
enunciated better, but
All right.
I don't know.
We're at an hour and 72 minutes. So
GSP.
I got to piss like a racehorse. What are we doing next week? No, don't just
Uh,
throw up weird shamrocks in one corner. That's
Well,
the laziest
that's what
shit
we're
ever. Did you
doing.
make that graphic?
No, it was already in there. They put it in there, and I was like, I'm going to
It
use
came
this
up in
thing.
one spot. Like, whoop, these
I
shit.
know.
So
Next week
we're
is-
doing our St. Patrick's Day show.
And it's on St. Patrick's Day, which
Yeah,
is
it
fantastic.
is.
Which
So-
means obviously we're drinking Guinness, right? Yes.
I'm prepped. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go. I got the foreign extra stout and I've got the standard Guinness.
Nice.
So I got 2 options here.
I need to do that this weekend.
Nice.
I need to go shopping.
And we're doing Irish car bombs, correct? Isn't that?
Oh, 100%. I will be before the show.
No.
No, not going to do it on the show?
No.
No.
All right.
I don't think you can
That's
say
all right.
Irish car bomb anymore. Actually, I think that's been.
No, it's like keyhole. Can't say it anymore.
Can't say keyhole, Irish car bomb.
No.
Yeah, it's a little aggressive for me.
All right. Well, that's what we're doing next week. Who wants to
I
close
love
the show out? It's our
I'm
St.
gonna do
Patrick's Day, so everyone come join
Yeah,
us.
St. Patrick's Day. You're not going to be doing anything else anyway.
Drink
Drinking.
whatever you
You'll
want.
drink with us. Drink
Yeah,
with us.
Exactly.
So, just like on the front end of the show, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Please find us on our different social media outlets.
Share us with your friends.
Share us with your friends. Absolutely. I do want to thank Berthoud Brewing again because it's great that they came by. They hung out the entire time. You guys were a blast. And the beer was fucking spectacular. So thank you so much. Make sure you follow along with us. Go to the website, check out the blog, read some information. Find the beers that we're getting. We try to keep a relevant calendar, updated calendar to show the beers that we're going to have a couple of weeks in advance so that you can find them, even if it's through a subscription service. Give them all a try. Other than that, we'll see you guys and get fucked up here on St. Patrick's Day very soon.
Oof.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Magnum.
Magnum.